Alright, making another one of these today. Because someone posted something I personally wanted to delve into. So, this is just going to be another Reddit deck fix, build, building deck kind of video. Goal of this one is we get to play with a little bit more of an interesting leader, and a leader who I think is around like tier 3, tier 2.5, somewhere in there. I think Goku Black's a little bit better, but as a personal opinion, I do like the Zamasu leader. I've not ever gotten to really play the Zamasu leader deck the way I would make it. I had a friend who was playing Goku Black after he got 3 Joyfuls. So this is kind of where a lot of these ideas are coming from. Is just what I experienced playing Goku Black versus what I feel is the better deck, which is Zamasu. Um, so let's kind of delve into the list that he posted. This one's kind of done in pictures, so it's a little weird. But we're going to just write it out on the notepad. Um, so leader, Zamasu. So, yeah, okay, I'll spell it out. Kind of just want to call him Zammy, but nah. So he's playing 3 of the promo Zamasu. 4 of... I like calling this card Trish. Trishula from Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of does the same thing, but I guess we'll call it 10 mana Zammy. 10 mana Zamasu. Let's see, is that 3? Yes. 3 of the forge, or I guess, yeah, the 4-drop Zamasu. That works. Is that 2 of the alert god? Alright. 3 of little Goku Black. 2x Joyfuls. 2x 4 mana Beerus. 3x Whis. 4x Boo. 4x combos. 4x Bulma. I think it's spelled Bulma right. And 4x of the God Tutor. And then we get the spells, or the extra, whatever you want to call them. So 4x Objection, 2x Mafuba, 4x Whis Counter, and 2x Senzu Beans. Okay, so this is the list we get to play with. Let's see, I think I want to organize this. No, I should put Whis Ramp to make everyone's life a little bit easier. I want to organize this in mana cost. But, oh man, am I lazy. Because it's a mono blue deck, which I agree with. I feel like you should be playing mono blue. It's probably the only color that can sustain itself as a mono color. Every other color I think falls behind just because Senzu Bean is way too strong of a card. Okay, so let's see. The promo Zamasu is a 4-drop. So let's put these up top. All the Zamasus together. All the Gokus together, and the Beeruses. Okay, there we go. So let's see, we got so the biggest concern that I see at first glance coming from personal experience and I guess I picked this up through more of testing, watching, coming up with opinions, stuff like that. This is all what this is going to be based off of. This isn't going to be anything based off of experience in terms of actually playing a Zamasu deck, because as I said, I've never personally have played one, so I don't super know how it works out. I did play Goku Black when Set 2 first released, um, and I played Goku Black recently, so that's about all the experience I have playing playing the Zamasu leader is by playing the Goku Black leader. So a lot of this is going to be opinionated. None of this is going to be tested or something proven, anything along those lines. This is more just going to be theory crafting and kind of showing my opinion of if I were to play Zamasu, which I 100% would play Zamasu in a tournament where winning was not my main priority. I would totally bring this deck. So I'm gonna try to make this as, in my opinion, as competitive as possible, and also as fun looking as possible. I'm not gonna be budget restrictive. Normally, whenever I build a deck, looking at promos, anything like that, I just I like building things in the most optimal way. So if you kind of want budget options in here, I can't really super help you. I don't know what more. I don't know what like you would do to replace some of the promos. Some of them I think are irreplaceable. Like Joyful, for instance. I don't think you can ever replace Joyful. Card's way too good. So let's get into it. So the first thing I notice is Senzu Bean. So spell count, we have 12 spells, 5 4-drops. Yeah, I guess we can put this is what's like the worst part about mono decks is it's so hard to organize everything, but kind of just want to keep everything in a nice little curve. Let's see, and these are 4-drops. I'm gonna use words to make numbers not look so weird. Oh no, and also that's not 5. Once again, me being great at counting. Let's see, little Goku Black is gonna sit right here. This is gonna sit right here. Delete that. Those are 6-drops. 10 mana Zamasu, and okay, so I guess I can take this out. This actually doesn't look terrible. Alright, so here we go. Now that's all organized and nice looking. I guess I can delete those. Just screw all the 50 on the color. So first off, I want to just make sure that this is 50 cards. So basically what I'm going to be doing is just shifting numbers around. I think the card choices you have are for the most part correct. I just think your numbering is a little off, and definitely I might be looking through some blue cards to see if I can find anything that I'd want to just throw in there as a nice little add-ins, nice little spice, stuff like that. And I can explain probably a lot of my reasoning for most of it, but once again, not a whole lot of testing experience with this. This is just a fun video for a fun deck. Okay, so let's start with the 1-drops. 4 Boo, 4 Combo, 4 Bulma, 4 Tutor. I guess this is a 2-drop, but it's an auto include. Actually, let's put it in the extra where I think they belong. You never really want to cast this thing, so it's not really a dude. So 12 1-drops. So the biggest thing here that I have ideals with is a lot of people like playing the 4 Bulma and the 3 Whis, but still playing the 4 God Tutor. Now, the kicker about the God Tutor is that the God Tutor can tutor literally everything in your deck, minus Bulmas and Boos. Now, as a card level power, I think Bulma is the weaker of the two, seeing as Bulma only tutors one thing, while God Tutor can tutor literally everything else. So as a personal, and also playing 12 1-drops, some people prefer playing 12 1-drops, but I think with the increasing amount of Kales, Jirins, all that kind of stuff, I feel 1-drops aren't as powerful as they were in set 1. There's a lot of hate for 1-drops. That's seen very commonly. Kale being one of those who is seen really commonly. And you know, Jiren, who's a staple in red decks, and I guess they bring it up almost every video I make, is the Buhan, the Frieza Buhan deck. Also just eats these alive. Also with Boo, if they ever put a Miraculous Gohan under it, they're attacking 5,000 beaters that are infinitely harder to defend. So I like playing in the realms of 7 to 8 1-drops, but in this case, because of a deck like this, I like playing 4 Boo. I would probably only play 2 Bulma, and 4 God Tutors. The 2 Bulma, and the reason for only playing 2 Bulma, we're still going to be playing, I think, more Whis. I kind of like playing 4 Whis personally, and cutting the objection down to 3. I made 3 videos at this rate that explain why I like objection at 3, but I guess I can continue plowing into the point. Objection is a card that you never want to see late game. You always want to see it in the first 3 turns, somewhere in there. If you ever see this card late game, it's probably spelling bad news for you, especially because your deck becomes a resource. It also allows you to play more powerful options to draw into, rather than having objections as a draw option. So that's the first change. Senzu Bean, I think Senzu Bean needs to be a 4 of. Honestly, the card's bananas. It does everything you want it to do. It's one of the biggest counters for aggro decks, and it's one of the biggest counters for Gotenks, especially. The 5-mana red Gotenks, I should mention. It has a huge problem with Senzu Bean, and it's no fun to play against. Mafuba I do like 2 of. 2 Mafuba is really good because one of your weaker matchups, as I said, playing a lot of the 1-drops and smaller things, especially Goku Black. If you're playing a lot of the little Goku Black, the removal spell for this is Jiren. Jiren kills this thing even though if you have Zamasu on the field. So Mafuba is a very good main deck counter to decks like that. The 10 mana Zamasu, obviously, I think I 100% agree with this, because this is how we're trying to win the game, is just trying to trish them and win the game off of that by playing Joyful on turn, turn 6. No, 7. Yeah, crushing it. So turn 7, playing Joyful into 10 mana Zamasu. Joyful, I think I'd put up to 3, maybe 4. This is where numbers, I think, have to be tested. If you're playing 4 Joyful, I would only play 2 of the little Goku Black, but I think 3 and 3 is also a very good number. Even potentially playing 3 and 4, I could see being a real thing, just so you have the Goku Black pressure because you're playing the promo Zamasu a lot more. That's just some thoughts to put in, because you're playing a lot more Zamasus than you are Goku Blacks, and that's what allows you to play this. Even though that this is technically a combo piece, that can be tutored with the God Tutor. Uh, it's always nice to have like these little guys just able to make the Zamasu play just on turn 7 just naturally. The promo Zamasu, I think the promo Zamasu is 100 times better than the 4 mana Beerus. The good thing about the promo Zamasu is it kills the threat on turn 4. It acts more like a Gohan, the 4 mana promo Gohan that green gets. The promo Zamasu does roughly that same kind of power level in terms of how devastating it can be. It's just a straight up turn 4 and can be played as a removal spell. Because if your leader Zamasu, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, place it on the bottom, cards under it, or go into the drop area. Yep. So, I think that card should be a 4 of, and I think Beerus should be cut down more. Because it's basically just a better Beerus. Actually, top of my head, let's check this. I finally get to use this. Now, is the... Just want to make sure. Are they not in here? No, did I go over it? Went too fast. Here we are. Okay, it is a 1/1000. I was making sure that the combo was a 1/1000. Something I like to keep in mind. The 4 mana Beerus, I think I'd play a 1 of just so you have 5 removal spells. 5 I think is a really good number. 6 is normally pushing it a little bit, but it kind of depends more on your meta. Beerus is also probably the strongest option that you get in blue, so that was a correct card choice for obvious reasons. But I think if you played in set 1, you would have known that anyway. Whis Ramp I kind of like playing 4. I feel the card is really strong and it's really necessary when you're trying to play these 10 mana Zamasus. Going from 4 to 6, or potentially... Yeah, it's always going 4 to 6. So going from 4 to 6 is really strong, and then 5 to 7 is the number that you want to be in. So if you play a Whis Ramp on turn 5, it allows you to go into 10 mana Zamasu the next turn potentially by playing Joyful into this if you have one of these little guys out. Also, it opens up your turn 4 plays to being this. The promo Zamasu rather than the little guy. So something to keep in mind is when you're trying, your objective of the game is to do this Joyful into 10 mana Zamasu. Alert God, I actually really like this card. Super strong. What's really cool is you can play it off of Joyful and still have backup, and you can do this on turn 6, put out 2 very good threats. And also, if the Joyful lives and you get to go into 10 mana Zamasu, if not, you could probably play the little Goku Black, who gets protected by the Alert God being on there. Also, I think it's a 25k beater. This is where I'm a little unknowledgeable. Let's look at the blue cards. Is Alert God in here? Do 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 do. Yay, here he is. Yep, 25k beater. And this one's just like if Zamasu is in play, right? Yeah, oh, nice. Oh, that really messed everything up. Oh man, this is just a fun fest. Okay, so if Zamasu's in your battle area, it can't be KO'd. Okay, I just want to make sure it didn't have to be a specific name. So Alert God I do really like. Also, just a potential chance of involving it onto this on turn 5 is also kind of cool. Something you can do. But I think you're going to more see of the Joyful into Alertful God as a defensive play happen a lot more if you're running low on Whis' counters. So I don't know where our numbers sit now because of the weird ordeal. So let's see, we got 4, 6, 10, 13, 16, 20, 25, 30, 34, 39, 51. So I have to cut a card? Dang. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I thought we were more in the green. So I'm trying to think of what card I would really want to cut here. This card being a 3-drop in this deck makes it basically like your only solid 3-drop, which kind of, if you're trying to play on curve, I should mention. So go, but the bigger goal is to just go like objection on turn 2 to get to the 3, so you can Whis ramp on turn 3. And this guy here is just like if you have a turn 5 play, you can play both of these, or you can play this with counter magic up. You know, Whis' counter, Sensu Beans, stuff like that. I'm trying to think if there was any other card that I kind of wanted to play that was a little spicy, but the only card I'm thinking about cutting is maybe a little Goku Black. Just bringing this down to 2. It gives you 5 options in here, but it gives you 4 tutors and 4 draws to find them. You can bring the Whis ramp down to 1, which might be a little better, because I think we're running into the issue. No, there's no way. 4A12. Is the Mono Zamasu, is that, what does that thing's combo cost? That thing's a 0-5000. Busted. Okay. I thought that card was a 1/1000 like most 4-drops are. So 3, 6, 10, 16, 20. Yeah, 20 free combos. Oh man, yeah, you're in the money. So I think you can go down to 19 if you want to cut one of these. Also playing a 1 of the Alert God wouldn't be bad, just so you're playing 1 Alert God, 1 Beerus. So you have the 5 removal spells, but you just have this one casually hanging around. But I think this play right here is really good, and it's good enough to argue the fact to play 2 Alert God, just so you could set it up more often and then go into a Trish. Because playing Joyful and then untapping 6 and not doing something cool afterwards feels bad. So yeah. So I think Alert God is the right one there. So it's between a Boo, just so you have less whiff cards on the God tutor. I mean, you're still playing 8. You know, you're playing 10 tutor cards. So I think you could cut Boo down to 3. I think it's the most cuttable card out of all of this, in my opinion. Other than that, I do like where the numbers sit right here. So let's see. So let me make sure I got my numbers right. So this is, I'm actually going to bring up a calculator just so I don't 100% mess this up. So let's see. It's 9 plus 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 12 equals 50. Nice. Okay, so this is 50. So I like this list right here. Personally speaking, this one looks fun. It does kind of what you want to do. You just want to go into the Trish, but you also just have these nice little threats right here, just holding down the fort. Alert God is a very devastating threat to a lot of decks, because their attacks become worse and worse. It's probably a lot better, or a lot worse against decks like Vegeta. Anything that kind of focuses on heroes killing you. Yeah, I think the other arguments you can make is playing Jocos. So depending on how you feel about the meta, if you think Jocko is going to be stronger than Mafuba, I highly suggest playing Jocko. If you see more cells, or if you think your meta has more cells, I would play 2 Jocko and then 2 Mafuba in the board. If you see more red and Jirins and stuff like that, I would like Jirins or this deck actually. Then I'd play more Mafubas. But I think if I had to make a broad call, I would play 2 Jocos, and then I'd throw the Mafubas in the board. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. And then I guess we can make a sideboard out of this, just for fun. So only reason, okay, so biggest thing you want in the sideboard is many cool extra effects you can do that make your matchups a lot better. So your flex spots are going to be the Jocos, probably a Whis ramp. You're going to be boarding out a lot. The 4-mana Zamasu against decks with less. When I say the 4-mana Zamasu, I mean the one that you're going to be playing for 3. The one that's just a 15k 3-drop. That one you're probably going to be boarding out more against. I don't know what you would board out against. I'm trying to think. I mean, the card just doesn't die, but at the same time, it's a feeling of when you're playing with it. Like, I feel like you just have like this 15k beater that just can't die, but it's just not impactful at the same time is what it feels like. So I think like taking it out for a more impactful threat is basically where the argument's coming in. So things that you could bring in. I'm trying to think of what to do for meta. So Jiren is a huge problem. So if you ever see Jiren, I think you would be bringing in 3 Yajirobe. I have no idea how to spell his name. Is it like that? Am I close? Yajirobe. So like that? Yajirobe? Yeah. So this guy's insane, by the way. Buhan deck has a really hard time with him. Critical blockers are really huge, or revenge blockers are a really huge problem for decks that play Jiren and Boo as win conditions. Because they don't really have targeted removal, they have attack your thing removal, and when you give something, or when you have something with revenge on it, it's a lot harder to get around. 2 Mafuba, same reasoning. Also, it's why we're playing the Jocos in the main. You could also potentially put this up to 3 Jocos if you feel like there's a lot of sell. If you feel like there's a 50-50 in a sense, I think I kind of want to put a Jocko in the board, just because I think 2 Jocko in the main is a good number for running against a cell in game 1, and then in game 2 I think you more target it with another Jocko. Yeah, that sounds about right. Same thing goes for Vegeta decks. It's one of those things where Jocko's really nice when you see the Vegeta leader fighting you. The blue one, by the way. The red one, I guess, can kind of qualify in the same thing. They're both playing the Champa combo. But for the most part, Jocko's good against that matchup, and that's why I like seeing 2 in the main more. Also, it's just a more versatile card than Mafuba can be at some points. I feel like it saves you from more games than Mafuba would, just because it doesn't require you to pay mana. That's the biggest reason why. It's useful when it's just sitting in your hand. The one card I just thought of was playing the Champa combo card. I don't know if you could try to fit it in here. I don't think it's going to be as good. The only reason I'd want to play it is because if you play the 10 mana card that you're trying to cast, and you give it double strike, it becomes a triple breaker. Technically, it'd be a cool idea to throw around. I don't know how you would want to do it. I think I'd keep it mono blue, because if you use the Zamasu leader ability and you don't get to draw a card off of it, it's a not good feeling. Even though you'd only be playing maybe 2 or 3 of the Champa combo card if I was to sneak him in there. I don't think it'd be 100% worth it. Even though you can tutor it with a god tutor, which is cool. Because I think he's a god. I like how confident I feel about this. Wonderful answers. Let's. I kind of want to look around because there's some things I'm curious about. Returning Evil Golden Frieza is a fairly good targeted removal card, but I feel because you're playing Zamasu, the 4 mana one does the same thing but better, just because it's 4 mana. Cards being 4 mana just make it way better. That's just rule of thumb. Anything that costs less mana is just better. You could play Time Ring. Oh, jeez. This card would be so interesting. Because it lets you tutor. But it's also an extra card. Which is why I think the God Searcher is better. I think your consistency is going to stay very high in this deck, and that's why you don't want to play Time Ring, because I think there's better options. I think we're just sitting in. Yeah, Zeno Button is a very interesting card, but I don't think you draw enough cards to make it worth it, and if you draw it in the late game, it feels really bad. Normally, when I played Zeno Button, I played it as a 1-of. Same with the Zeno Playing God when I was playing Goku Black. They're both 1-ofs. That kind of did cool things. I don't like Zeno the Playing God because especially if you play against a Wombo combo deck, you're letting them draw 5 cards to do that play again. This card gets a lot better in the like 9 mana scenarios when you can draw into your counters. That card is not what we're looking for. Ooh. How did I forget about this card? Oh boy, I totally forgot that card. Yeah, this is where deck building gets fun, because I forgot this little guy exists. So the reason why this card is good and why I'm debating on putting it in, it can replace the Jocko position, and then you could put 3 Jockos in the side. So that would probably work out a little bit better because I think this card becomes more versatile in the reasonings that I had previously, where I think Jocko is a good card, because seeing it in game 1, it still has a very versatile, useful effect. But Unyielding Spirit Trunks does the exact same thing, but way better, allowing you to cast Sensu Beans when you tap out for something like Alert God, Joyfuls, Promo Zamasus, stuff like that. It lets you survive a little bit easier. I know survival doesn't seem like it's a thing that you really want to do in the Zamasu deck, but I feel like after you flip, you are giving up a lot of options. You kind of want to put yourself at 3 life and then end up joyfuling yourself to 1 and then flip, so you get the most card advantages you possibly can before you start just like getting your deck chunked away, which I think you have maybe about like 15 to 20 cards to work with, I think, at that rate. I don't know exactly how many cards you would have. It'd be something that you have to math out. So we are going to change that. So those Jockos are going to become this. Actually, I want to play 3. And then the Jockos on the side is going to become 3 Jockos. The reason why I'm taking out the 4 mana Zamasu, same combo card, still playing 6 of these, still playing 6 of these. Or actually, you're playing more of this, but you're playing 6 of this. This card I think you could play less of because you're playing this card and you're playing this card. That's the reasoning. Yeah, this card's really good. Forgot about that one. Debatable on playing these. I don't know how much I feel about this card. So what's good about it is the Bulma, but I think I don't want to play it as much because we're only playing 2 Bulma. When you only bring in like 1 or 2 of these, the best way to find it is to do Bulma and not the God Tutor, because if you use the God Tutor, you're more looking for Joyfuls, 10 mana Zamasus, just getting your combo together, and then this card allows you more flexible options for getting any one of these, rather than Bulma, which is just going to be getting the Whis ramp 99.999% of the time. And then maybe if you bring this in from the board, it becomes a little different. Peel Off is a very, 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 very good card in this deck. Anything that plays double strike threats. When you flip over, making your card count go down to 5 rather than 10 when you get hit makes a whole lot of difference. So I'm how many peel offs do I want to play? Let's start with 2 peel off for now. Work our way up. Yajirobe, as I said, love that card. And is the rest of these red cards? Yes. No. Hey, blue cards. Debating on putting in for one of the critical 3-strike attackers, which is really good against Frieza. Card just puts a decent amount of pressure. You can make the same argument for something like these, but it gives them card advantage, and I kind of like using critical more than anything. I think critical is a strong keyword that allows you to get a little bit better of a 3-drop. Just for when you want to do that curving, where playing Beerus's and the Whis ramp is like less relevant, and just like getting your curve going with 3-drop Gohan or Goku or Vegeta. Dealer's choice there. They both do the same thing. And being also able to save it with something like Unyielding Spirit Trunks to just make it a consistent threat. It would be a card that you would never want to bring in against yellow. It would be a card you'd more want to bring in against green, kind of like the Kale-ish decks, just so that they're killing those. Yeah, well, I guess I can't kill anything else. You want to bring them in against leader decks. Yeah, blue Vegeta, red Vegeta. I think the critical attackers are actually a really good choice for that. So that's something to look at. I kind of want to make sure I'm not missing anything, especially from set 1. Mono Blue is such a weird color where you can play super cool things. God Breaks on Goku. This card's cool. The reason why this card was really good for a while is you can't block it or counter it. Just good threat. I don't know why you'd bring it in, probably against the 8. Ooh. Okay, now this card. This card you could bring in against leader decks. I think more super on board with this card. I knew I forgot something. Card's really strong just because it's bigger. Oh, oops. Didn't mean to go to that. Yeah, we already looked through some of that. Oh, no, then it goes straight to green. Are we looking through? Yeah, we're right in here. Blue Stack Piccolo, Tongue Piccolo, Boo, Monica, Resolve Training. Ooh, no. No, this card's terrible. We're just going to skip over that one for obvious reasons. We don't want to awaken. Unless if I'm misreading something. Oh, whoops. Damage is inflicted to you. Plays. Yeah, okay, yeah. Resolve Training is a terrible card. For us. Trying to think of other cool sweet blue cards that you could play. Beerus General Demolition. Card's tempting. You just don't discard cards out of their hand. So paying 7 mana for something that's not going to gain every sort of advantage, which is what Mono Zamasu does, it's just it's a little risky of a click. I kind of want to put in 4 of these. 2,500 critical attackers seem really strong, especially sitting in like a Frieza meta where they have to pump 2 cards in to save themselves, one of them having to be at the 10k combos. I'm feeling it. I'll even put the real name. So let's see, 4, 5, 6, 12, 14. Yeah, we're playing for Yajirobe. I think Yajirobe is a way more important card. This card actually just brick walls red removal decks. I'm a little biased, but I think this looks good. So I think first draft, this is probably what I'll play. Testing, obviously, will change your opinion about anything. Hopefully anybody that was watching this got to enjoy. I actually got to use the web browser this go around. I knew I was going to need this because I'm dumb and don't remember how to play Mono Blue decks at all. So hopefully I made success by showing people, hey, you can play cool decks, or not, hey, you can play cool decks. Hey, this is me trying to make a tier 2 deck instead of a tier 1 deck. Trying to do it as best as possible. This deck looks really fun. I think the numbering is solid. I'm kind of curious on how it would work out. The only thing that looks a little out of place though is the 4 mana beers that I like splashing in there. I know Promo Zamasu does the same thing, but the 4 mana beers is just like kind of a sweet card. In general, just having a double striker that kills something can be relevant at certain points. But the main reason it's in there is just so you have 5 removal spells. But I think I'm gonna put my foot down, and this is where I think I would put the deck right now. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully the person that I made this for, give you a small shout out. King Zora 16. Yeah, that's how you read Roman numerals. Hopefully this video makes it to you. I'm definitely going to put it in your Reddit comment. And hopefully you enjoy it. It was kind of fun to make, and hopefully that you enjoy my stupid commentary. Once again, this is another 40-minute video. The sideboard crushed it. That was a 10-minute discussion of what mono blue cards you could play in sideboard. No, hopefully I accomplished my goal. I kind of like doing this, but I don't know how much people like me just stalking their Reddit posts and making a video response for their deck lists. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, YouTube, Reddit, Discord, I'm available on all 3 of them. Hopefully you guys enjoy this content. Just basically putting it out just because this is fun. But yeah, till next time, I guess everybody just take it easy.